everyone, and welcome to today's review for Life After Lockup Season 4, Episode 17, Dirty Little Secrets. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Let's get into it. So, the episode starts off with Brittany in her car, and she's still pissed off with finding out that Amanda received explicit pictures or one explicit pic from Marcelino. So she's pissed off and she's driving and she calls Amanda and tells her that she's about to roll up. So she gets there, calls Amanda, she comes out, and you could tell Amanda was shook already because she knew something was about to go down. So Brittany was questioning her, like, okay, you held on to this information. Why didn't you tell me? Why you being so sneaky? And Amanda was dumbfounded, stuttering and everything, not knowing what to say. So Brittany straight popped her in the face and started just pummeling on her. And that was just literally like quite an intro to the episode because that was like maybe like 2, 3 minutes tops, and then we didn't see them again to the end of the episode. So at the end of the episode, we see the fight from a different point of view, from a different part where you could see pretty much what she did to Amanda as far as like hitting her and pushing her down on the floor and stuff like that. So the camera crew or security steps in and tries to hold her back, and she's still trying to get at Amanda, and Amanda just walks away, and they tell her to go inside, like back into her um, workplace. So that's what she does, and she's crying, and that was pretty much the gist of what happened between them. Then we have Branwen and Chaz, and we see them, they're still at the hotel. Sorry, it's the morning time and I'm now having my coffee. But they wake up at the hotel and Chaz is in all his glee. He's happy. He finally got to do the deed. And Branwen, of course, she's just there like, yeah, okay, I pretty much got it over and done with. That's how her demeanor was. So he's talking to the camera and he's just being a creep. Just, I'm gonna leave it alone. Um, but he's excited. So they leave the hotel, and he decides to tell Branwen that he had such a good time that he's thinking about extending his stay for another week. And Branwen was like, "Oh no, see, that wasn't part of the plan." She was not feeling that at all. You could see she immediately was like heated at the fact that now he's gonna stay there longer. So she says, yeah, I hear that you want to stay longer, and I could understand that, but I have school, I have things that I have to tend to. And he's like, oh, I'll work around your schedule. And again, like I said the last time, that type of stuff just pisses me off. He's like, she's trying to better herself, and in my opinion, he doesn't seem that supportive. So I was just like, what the heezy's going on here? But anyway, so they're having that discussion, and then she gets a call from her ex-boyfriend. I honestly forgot his name right now. So she gets a call from him. So she steps away and says that it's the counselor, or the counselor from her school. So she walks away, and you hear her ex say, I'm out of jail. I've been released. So she's excited to hear that, but she's trying to contain her excitement and trying to, speak in an inner voice so Chaz doesn't hear. But Chaz picks up on the fact that something suspicious is going on. So when she gets off the phone, he's pissed off, having a tantrum. He lights up a cigarette and he's just looking like he's about to cry, or maybe he was crying. Um, then I believe it was his ring that he took off. It was like so small, and I didn't have my glasses on while I was watching the episode. So I'm like, what is that? But I guess it was the ring. So she takes it and walks over to him, consoles him, like, why you acting like this? And he was like, just having a moment. And so she kind of talks him out of his mood in a way. And, he's still saying, oh, I'm still thinking about spending an additional week. And she's like, okay, whatever. Like, she's not going to be able to pretty much talk him out of that. So that was pretty much the gist of what their what they did in this particular episode. So then we have Lindsay and her daughter. They're at a shop or a boutique. Her daughter, Mary Grace, is interested in entering into a pageant at her school. So Lindsay was telling her that, yeah, I did the same pageant. It was my first and only pageant that I participated in when I was 18. And she was saying that everything is still the same these years later, the same backdrop, setting everything. Um, so she said that she placed like as a runner up in the pageant, and so she was just giving Mary Grace tips, and they're having their bonding mother and daughter moment, and you have Deontay blowing up her phone. So he keeps calling, but she's ignoring the call because she is spending quality time with her daughter, and she told her daughter that because her daughter was looking at her like, who is calling you like that? She was like, oh, it's Deontay, and yeah, I love him, but keeps calling my phone, and he knew I was supposed to be with you. So Deontay was calling Lindsay because he was meeting up with his mother at a furniture store, and he was going to break the news to her that he's thinking about moving to Mississippi to be with her. So they're Deontay and his mother. They're in the furniture store and they're looking around at stuff, and he's seeing things that will work out for Miley Grace and just all three of them in general. And he breaks the news to his mother that he's thinking about moving, and she was just like, "Are you tripping? Like, what is wrong with you? You had such a um, traumatic experiences with the two felons that you were with before. The first one, unfortunately, passed away. The second one, we know about the second one. Now, this one, like, so she, of course, was upset at that and she whacked him with the pillow, and he's lucky that's all she hit him with because she was just so upset, and it's totally understandable why she was upset. It's like, when will he get some sense? Hopefully soon he'll get some sense. But hey, so they pretty much leave the furniture shop, and when he leaves, he goes in the car and then he calls Lindsay again, and that was about it with them. Then we see Amber and Puppy in the car, and they're headed to Puppy's home. So Amber was dropping Puppy off basically. So she drops her off, and Puppy and Eric were just catching up, just regular chit chat, like, hey, what did you do today? That type of thing. And she was not ready to break the news to him that she's pregnant. And she was just telling him about jobs and things like that. And that was like a quick little conversation that they had. I don't even know if it was like a good 5 minutes, or at least that's how it appeared. And he gets up and he said, okay, well, I'm about to leave. And she's like you're leaving. So he pretty much leaves and doesn't return until the morning time. um so by the next day, what's her name, Amber is back at Puppy's home, and they're sitting on the sofa and they're chit chatting, and Amber asks Puppy, well, did you tell Eric that you're pregnant? She's like, no, I didn't tell him as yet. Like, there's so much going on and I wasn't ready to do so. So in comes Eric, and Amber starts giving him the third degree because Puppy shared with Amber that he left, and I think he had changed his shirt, and he left, and this now he hasn't been there all night, and now we see him return in the morning. So she was asking, pretty much, where were you? You didn't come back last night. And he was like, well, did I say that? Did I say that? And it was just like this ridiculous, childish back and forth. Did I say that? No, I didn't say that. Did I tell you that? I was just like, oh, please. So anyway, he gets pissed off, and then he leaves. And Amber said, hey, puppy, we should like hop in the car and follow him, see where he's going, what he's doing, because he might be up to some suspicious business, like possibly rekindling or still doing things, linking up with his wife, because he's still married. So Puppy was hesitant to follow him because she didn't want to add more drama to, or more tension to, what's already going on between them. So she she's convinced. So you see them in the car and they're following him, and he dips off, and then I'm thinking that it appears that he noticed that it was them following him, so he pulls off in a parking lot, and you see him roll up, like hop out of his car and roll up on the truck, and then the next scene, it's their truck that he rolls up on. So it appeared that he was like meeting someone on some suspicious, sneaky business, but in fact, it was him noticing that they were following him. So he asked them, why are you following me? Of course, they get into an argument. Um, Amber tells him that I don't trust you based on what Puppy has been telling me, and I'm just looking out for my friend. And he gets pissed off again, hops in his car, and zooms off. So that was it with them. Then we have Brittany and Ray. That was pretty quick. Like a lot of the scenes this episode, it seemed like they fit majority of the cast in this episode, but a lot of them was just like little quick updates. So we have Brittany and Ray. Well, their storyline. So we see Brittany in the car with her mother, and they're headed over to the bridal shop. So they get there, they're looking around. Pretty much the Brittany's mother, you know, um, suggested that she think about putting together or getting a prenup, I should say, because of all the restitution that Ray owes and everything like that. She thinks it would be in Brittany's best interest to get this prenup, and they're pretty, well off. So she just wants to make sure that her daughter's protected. So Brittany was like, I don't know about that. Like, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but I'll think about it. And so we see Brittany, she gets home and she tells Ray what her mother suggested. And then he, tells her, listen, about the restitution, I got this. I've been working, so I could pay down on what I owe. And he got upset, and then he started fussing, and then he walks away. Then we have, who else do we have here? Um, oh, Chance and Tyler. So um, we see Chance looking at a house. He wants to get a house for Tyler and the girls, so they can have something that um, they could be settled in before the or for the upcoming wedding that will be happening whenever it's going to happen. So he's looking around and just saying, yeah, well, this will be a good room, and this could be for this and that, and I could convert this into that, like all these plans and everything like that. So you have that. Then you have Taylor. She's on a video chat with her friend, and she said that she took the test, but she didn't look at the results. And her friend's like, "What the easy? Like, come on now, check it out." So she goes, she looks at the test results, and then she shows it to her friend. So she's pregnant, but we already saw that in the previews. Um, so she's like freaking out and like, "Oh shoot." I gotta figure out when I'm gonna tell him. I don't know if I want to tell him now and stuff like that. So we see Chance and Taylor, they go to a restaurant and he's ready to, you know, um, have the drinks poured and everything. But she's like, no, I don't feel like I'm not gonna drink tonight. And he was like, you're not gonna drink. You usually have a glass of wine or champagne with me, or some kind of alcoholic beverage. But she wasn't. Well, we know why she doesn't want it, but he doesn't know it yet. So he orders a pizza and the pizza is making her nauseous and she was like can you like move the pizza away from me because I'm feeling nauseous. So he's just like, you're nauseous, you don't want to drink, but it doesn't appear like he's putting two and two together as yet. um so she, she just pushes it off or brushes it off as saying that she has a lot of stress going on and she blames it on him getting the truck and that additional expense. And he's telling her, listen, I got all these gigs where I could rack up this money and, I could do this and that and pay off what I need to pay off and stay, keep up with payments and stuff. But she doesn't seem to be convinced. She's, of course, now even more concerned that she's bringing another life into the mix. So it's going to be, even more um, money that will be spent as far as taking care of everyone. So they have that conversation. And that was pretty much it with them. And then the last was Sean and Sarah's wedding. And we see Sean's daughter Gracie. They greet each other and hug each other and have a conversation. And she, said, yeah, I want to be here and support you and stuff like that. And she said, you have to understand how I was feeling. We pretty much feel like you are trying to replace us. And like we were kind of like a practice family for you to be prepared for your new one. And he, like assures her, no, that's not the case. And they talk it out and hug it out and everything. So he's really excited that she's there to support him. So then while they're having their discussion, we see Kelly roll up on Sarah. And they had a pretty good conversation. Sarah was like, wait, why is she here? She's like, but she handled it better than I probably thought that she would have, given the way she's been talking about her previously. So I'm glad that they both had a level head and had an adult conversation. So Kelly was telling her, I just wanted to make sure that you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting into, you know. And Sarah said, yeah, I know he's been deceitful about certain things and I'm aware of that, but you know, we love each other and stuff like that. So, and they have that conversation. Um, and then we see the wedding, and that's it. They're married. So they had a little cute, nice wedding. The scene was nice outside by the lake. And so it was a nice little um get together that they had. So that's cool. Um, then we see Miss Destiny, and she is walking in the parking lot, and she did not make it to the airport because she keeps having contractions. And so the producers are like, like how far are the contractions from each other? Like how often are you having it? And she said 2 minutes apart, I believe. So we see her in the car and they're driving her to the hospital, and she calls her husband and tells her that she keeps having contractions and she thinks she's in labor. And she asked him if he's going to be there at the hospital. So he said yes, and she told him what to tell them at the hospital if he gets there before her. And that was pretty much the end of the show. So Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Thank you for watching today's review for Life After Lockup, and hope to see you soon again for another review of whatever show I review. So please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more um, videos from me, and comment. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Later. Peace.